Well, Oran, what's your assessment after today's game?
Obviously pleased to get the 3 points. It's been a tough week. There's no doubt in that. I think the manner of the goal last Saturday, and then obviously going out of the cup on Tuesday night has hurt us all. So frustrating from that point of view. But all you can do is go and try and win your next match. And Loughgall, to their credit, have been strong this year. Have had a really good start to the season. And credit to our boys. I thought, obviously towards the end with the red card, it makes it a wee bit tougher. But I thought right up until that point, we were well worthy for our lead.
Yeah, and obviously the last 2 games was the mid in the Camp Lou or how was it?
No, not really. It's tough, and it can be nearly paralysis by analysis at times, where there's so much analysing and all aspects of it. But for me, it's pretty simple, and I think I remember doing an interview with you a long time ago in relation to that last season, that we were 25 goals behind where we wanted to be, and we needed to possibly add 10 goals at either end, 10 goals on the plus and 10 goals off the minus. And at this point in time, defensively, I think we're sitting 6th, and we've the 6th best defence in the league, and take out a couple of results that really hurt, that were high scoring. Realistically, defensively as a unit, it's been okay. It hasn't been too bad. We just have got nowhere close to I think we're sitting 9th in the league at the minute for goals for, which isn't acceptable. But also it's very simple. Matthew Shevlin in the last couple of the last 2 seasons, Matthew was sitting on 15 goals at this point in time, and he's not at the minute through no fault of Matthew's. The unfortunate the tackle that leads to the injury that he has at this point in time, the injury that he picked up in the first game of the season as well. Through no fault of his, he hasn't played a huge amount of games this season, and in simple terms, it's hurt us, and it's been very hard to replace. Nobody's been able to step up to the mark to be able to do that and carry that mantle for as many opportunities as we've give. And today we give another opportunity, where probably one that's 12 months maybe too early, and one that you could say is risky, but we feel, and I feel, there's characteristics and qualities in there that can score goals. But your big fear always with the young players is that you hang them out to dry and leave them there too early, and it shouldn't be that Kieran's forced into that because of an injury to Matthew. It should be that Kieran comes through when Kieran's ready to come through. It is a bit of a risk, and thankfully for Kieran in particular that it hasn't cost him today.
It seems nearly every time I speak to you that there's somebody walking wounded, and I think I've seen Andy warming up before the match, so hopefully that's maybe a glimmer of hope there.
It's a conveyor belt nearly, it just seems to be, and I think you go through wee spells of, there was a big part maybe of the early part maybe where it was just Matthew who was injured and nobody else. We've just gone through a cycle recently where and they're particularly similar type players, which is the most frustrating thing that I would call our spine or the real graft aspect of our team. Stevie O's played 2 games this season. Josh Carson has played 8 odd games this year. Matthew the same, and you take a spine out of our team. Never mind a team maybe with a lot more money who have maybe double the players in all of the areas of the pitch. Those 3 players alone have played 40 plus games for us the last couple of seasons, and have been stalwarts of what we're about. All of a sudden, when you remove that out of a team, it makes it tough. It does give opportunity, but with that, there are certain moments of certain games that it has hurt us. And the other one that's really hurt is probably Stevie Lowry, where Stevie, we hoped had 1 year left in him, and there's been so many scenarios this season where you felt that having Stevie on the bench to throw him on for 20 minutes or throw him on for half time on Tuesday night, it was just crying out for Stevie Lowry to come on and settle the ship and be that area of calm, like against Glenavon last Saturday, like the Dungannon game earlier on in the season. I could name a load of games where you're just crying out for that somebody with a bit of calm to put their foot in the ball with that real know-how and experience. And he's picked up 3 or 4 different niggles that have just rolled one into the other, where all of a sudden we're down a midfielder as well. So you look at all those little issues, and it's been hellish frustrating. But it's given Senan an opportunity for games. Alfie's chomped a bit and was about to come on there today, and then Davies' red card comes, and it compounds 20 minutes for Alfie. And Kieran's in there at 17 as well, where it's getting opportunities as well. So we've got to use this as a positive as such, and use it as opportunities to push forward.
And finally, 2 questions in one. Any complaints with Davy's red card, and secondly, and Dungannon up next?
I've stood there before and said I haven't had a good view I haven't been able to see it. I'll watch it back and I'll reserve judgment, and I'm not going to stand here and say that with this one. I had a good view of it. My heart jumped into my throat about 2 seconds before contact, because Davy's always at that side of him, and there's no point in me standing here and trying to defend that. He has an edge, and a lot of people will say it's good to have that edge, and it is good to have that edge, but the edge went over the top. It went the wrong side today, and we can't have any complaints with it. And Dungannon next week, every team brings their problems. Loughgall brought them today. Dungannon will do exactly the same next week. So it's up to us to make sure that we dust ourselves down, number one, and see what we've got available, and then we've got to go and try and pick another 3 points.
Cheers, Oran. Thank you.
Cheers.